Good morning. I'm Armstrong Williams. Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us. The United States government spends billions of dollars in infrastructure, security, and God knows what else to prevent terrorist attacks in this country. And it seems as though something, someone, somebody is always slipping through the crack. I know this for a fact. There are people who still go through the airport with knives in their possession that TSA security magnetometers never detect. It's true. I remember a situation from a U.S. Marshal who had all the paperwork, had all the credentials, made all the right phone calls. When he got to the security booth in the airport, there was no problem with his gun. Everything was clear. But they found a knife on him and his paperclip. There was a paperclip, a knife, and other little gadgets all wrapped in one. And they told him that it was a dangerous weapon and he had to leave it behind. Now here we are talking about a U.S. Marshal who was able to go through the airport with his gun and ammunition, and they were making a beef about his little swivel knife. Are you kidding me? No one is willing to admit it, but TSA has come a long way, but they have a long way to go. Think about this. Thousands and thousands of people die around this country from murder, from rape, from violence. Now, you may say that violence is emotional. It may be targeted at an individual in the heat of battle. It could be a drug deal gone bad, but still, people die. You can say terrorists come to this country with the thought of destroying buildings, destroying a massive number of people. But yet, we spend billions of dollars to prevent terrorism for about 100,000 people. When we know for a fact where these people are, their cell networks, we know for a fact our government, CIA, FBI, terrorist cells already in the United States, just waiting on a signal to be unleashed. And our government can do nothing about it in the name of freedom of speech. You can't act until the deed has been done. Otherwise, kill a few people, blow up a few buildings, and then you can go after the terrorists. This knucklehead kid from Nigeria did everything he could to get caught. His parents went to the embassy, cash for his ticket, one-way ticket, check, no luggage. He was on the list. He could not fly in the UK, and still yet, after being reported to the FBI, the CIA about this kid, he was still able to fly from Amsterdam to the United States. Just really amazing. Now, I want to get back to all the other violence. Far more people die from violence, guns, criminals, serial killers in the country than you can ever imagine from terrorism. And yet we don't spend the kind of money, nearly the kind of money, to stop those kinds of acts in the United States. What's the difference in somebody losing their life at the hands of someone from domestic violence, or someone carrying and wheeling a gun in the shopping mall, and then some terrorists? Let me tell you this. Death is death. Life is life. At some point, the United States is going to get to where they have to hire either the CIA or undercover FBI officers, or whatever you want to call them, to go in and destroy these terrorist cells before they ever get started. That's right. Just like what we have to do sometimes with criminals in this country, we have to shoot them in order to stop violence, like what happened in Los Angeles on yesterday, where a U.S. Marshal was shot and somebody else was killed, but yet the FBI took out the shooter. Sometimes we just got to go in and disrupt before the crime ever starts. My point is, and I know it seems a little disjointed this morning, I just agonize. What life is more worthwhile? Someone destroyed by the terrorists or somebody destroyed by the violence in our own country? And how do we decide where the money should be spent? How do we make that decision? But one thing for certain, while we may not know the person that's beating their wife, who could kill their wife, or who may decide to kill their family, we know for a long time that these terrorist cells are building towards something. I think it's time for the government and Congress to give the green light to some special forces some secret society to go in and take these people out before they ever get started. Blow them to shreds. I'd rather for them to make a few mistakes and taking out people who are known terrorists who want to do harm in this country. I'd rather see them take them out than take the chance of them having their way. We got to think differently about these terrorists. We got to get to them before they ever get started. That young kid, if you had a chance, if they had a chance to take him out before he got on that airplane, somebody should have decapitated him so he could have never gotten started. I know it sounds brutal. I know it sounds barbaric, but this is what it's going to come to unless we get serious. Because we may not be serious, but I want to tell you, they certainly are. I'm Armstrong Williams.